5 Best Artificial Intelligence Stocks to Invest in the Long Term. In this video, I present 5 stocks that are likely to benefit greatly from artificial intelligence in the future. However, everyone makes their own investment decisions, and investing in these stocks is not necessarily profitable. I believe that artificial intelligence will play a role in many different areas of the world, and I think that the big companies focusing on artificial intelligence will benefit the most from this development. I think this is something that people should be paying attention to and actively looking for the best stocks to invest in when it comes to AI. I'm going to list my 5 favorite stocks for you. These are stocks that should be invested in for the long term, for example at least for more than 5 years. The stocks are selected from low risk to high risk, so I'm actually going to rank these in order from lowest risk stock to highest risk stock. Let's start first here with the absolute lowest risk option, which is Google. This company is by many estimates the absolute king of the internet, because this stock has plummeted so much recently. Its valuation has actually reached a cheap price. It is even cheaper than the industry average, and it is quite extraordinary that a clear market leader is valued lower than its peers. When it comes to artificial intelligence, it's data, and Google collects by far the most data. 5 billion Google searches every single day, and by the way, these searches tell AI everything about you, because you're looking for answers to your specific questions every day. Not to mention that you probably enter these searches through Google's own web browser or smartphone platform, because Chrome dominates over 65% of the internet browser market and Android over 70% of the mobile OS market. Google even knows your location, as it controls 70% of the market for navigation and mapping services. It knows what kind of entertainment you like, not just from searches but also from the videos you watch on YouTube, which, incidentally, attracts more than half of all internet users worldwide, and it can even store, process, analyze and facilitate all this data on its own cloud platform, which already has the 3rd largest market share in the world, and of course it also offers all kinds of artificial intelligence and machine learning services to its customers. Google is also using AI for more ambitious things like self-driving cars, healthcare and biotech. Another so-called low-risk stock is Amazon, and to be honest, in normal times I might actually prefer Microsoft on this list rather than whichever takes the number 1 or number 2 spot. However, the fact is that right now Amazon stock is cheap. Amazon has really lost a lot of its market value in 2022. This is not based on profits or PE, price-to-earnings ratio, but Amazon has always been more focused on world domination and profitability, so their price per sales has always been high, but I don't think I've ever seen their PS, price-to-sales, ratio this low. In fact, this whole collapse has happened despite the fact that Amazon already generates about $500 billion in revenue, and is still growing at double-digit percentages every year. When the day comes that Amazon wants to focus on profitability, this will be one of the cheapest stocks money can buy compared to what you get in return. Going forward, Amazon will use artificial intelligence in virtually everything they do, whether it's algorithms that recommend products to customers in the world's largest online store, which controls more than half of the entire US market with 57% compared to its next closest competitor, Walmart, which has just 6% market share. Using it to target the right audience with their digital advertising, which has already helped them grow to become the 3rd largest digital advertising player in the world, now in a 3-way tie with Google and Meta, or using it to optimize their inventory efficiency and complex supply network by tracking all their products by predicting customer demand, estimating availability and allocating appropriate quantities. To optimize its supply routes, it communicates with customers through chatbots and the like. While monitoring the entire supply chain, it uses robotics both in its own warehouses and by now selling them to customers as home delivery robots. These were the 2 lower risk options. Let's start adding risk to our equity options. The 3rd option is stock Meta, because for artificial intelligence this is very obvious. Meta has the 2nd largest number of digital devices. Advertising market share between the other 2 choices of Google and Amazon, where they use artificial intelligence to better market promotional products to potential customers, but all of this works on their social media platforms, which consist mainly of Facebook and Instagram, which together give Meta the largest social media market share in the entire world, with over 3.7 billion users across all their apps. That's about half of the world's population, and many people have no idea how valuable is artificial intelligence. Meta also knows almost everything about users on Facebook or Instagram, for example, because you have social media accounts with profiles, posts, messages and overall all of your human interests. This information is not only used for their own AI purposes, but in terms of algorithms, the Meta has probably the best algorithm technology in the world, in which they invest billions of dollars every year, and last year alone they spent a massive $25 billion on research and development, on building the Metascape, which by the way included building the most powerful supercomputer to run all this. Meta has made big losses, but it can be argued that the future of artificial intelligence is very much tied to the Metascape, which is a virtual world that will undoubtedly be powered by algorithms and all kinds of technology, and there are a number of estimates that put the market at trillions of dollars in the long term. Meta invests more money in artificial intelligence than anyone else in the world. But you have to remember that if a company fails despite everything, the value of your investment in the stock will plummet. They can afford to take this risk, as other parts of the business are still generating huge profits, with cash flow from their operations of almost $60 billion last year alone. Meta deserves a mention for its riskier, yet still very solid confidence in the future of artificial intelligence. The fourth stock that I consider medium risk is Nvidia. Unlike the other companies we've covered so far, Nvidia is much more focused on the processing power and software infrastructure needed for AI, but on the hardware side, Nvidia is developing the world's highest performing graphics chips that can process massive amounts of data very quickly, which is much needed for machine learning, deep learning and all the algorithms we've talked about so far for artificial intelligence. In fact, all the companies listed so far are themselves using Nvidia chips in some way, especially in their massive cloud servers and in their own supercomputers. While Meta is building the world's fastest or most powerful supercomputer, Nvidia already has more than 70% of the world's fastest supercomputers. Nvidia also has some of the world's best artificial intelligence software, including an autonomous driving platform already used by nearly 400 companies and institutions, including automotive giants such as Volvo, Mercedes, Hyundai and many others, and the Metropolis Vision AI platform for smart cities, which helps with logistics, public safety, sanitation, transportation and more. Much of this is actually video capture and processing, which is a specialty of Nvidia's graphics chips. They also have the Omniverse platform, which not only helps companies integrate with the metaverse, but it also takes real-world environments and turns them into a 3D virtual version, which Amazon has even adopted to help them improve the efficiency of their warehouse in the virtual world before they make any physical changes to it. And of course, who can forget gaming, which will be one of the biggest forms of entertainment in the metaverse, are cryptocurrencies, which will probably be one of the most used forms of currency. Nvidia is constantly using its chips for both high-performance games and cryptocurrency mining. All of these different markets have so much potential that Nvidia estimates their entire market is worth over $1 trillion, but they only made about $27 billion in revenue in 2022. Due to the current economy and market conditions, Nvidia's stock has experienced a huge crash in the last year, losing over half of its entire value in the long run, although I still believe it will be one of the winners in the long run. My last stock of choice is a high-risk play on the cybersecurity market, and I think the best option here is Palo Alto. Palo Alto is the market leader among its peers, despite being such a young company, doing about 3 times more sales than the next closest competitor CrowdStrike. But still, when you look at the share price compared to that sales, Palo Alto trades at a PS ratio of less than 8%, while the others are in double digits with the exception of Okta, which is actually slightly cheaper. But you have to take into account that Okta has been losing more and more money online every year, while Palo Alto has actually improved its situation over time, even reaching profitability last year. Palo Alto is expected to continue to grow its EPS, which means earnings per share, by more than 25% per year, and therefore even the most negative estimates do not have a very low target price for the stock. And when it comes to artificial intelligence in cybersecurity, it is a matter of fact that AI alone is expected to be worth more than $60 billion in the cybersecurity sector or market, while the broader general cybersecurity market could be worth up to trillions of dollars according to a new study of thousands of companies across all the different segments and needs related to cybersecurity. To capitalize on this opportunity, Palo Alto is already using machine learning to automate the detection of cyber threats much faster and more efficiently than a human could ever do. The platform strategy, consisting of Prisma Cortex Strata and Unit, will give customers more choice and simplicity in securing their own platform, which is exactly what the market needs as it consolidates into fewer and larger players. Palo Alto is arguably the largest, and already has giant customers such as Amazon, Microsoft, Google, Oracle, and even Alibaba, all of whom rely on it for their giant cloud infrastructures. Palo Alto has grown its sales a lot even during this global economic downturn, mainly due to their next-generation platforms. These platforms increased their annual recurring revenue by almost 70%, so their investment in AI and all this new technology has really paid off. In fact, it's paid off so much that their free cash flow continues to grow more than any of their competitors, which allows them to invest more. As the need for an efficiency of artificial intelligence grows, and more cybersecurity is needed to protect it, Palo Alto will benefit greatly from all of this in the long run. Here are 5 interesting stock picks for the first half of 2023. Investing in equities always involves risk, and investing in these stocks may not necessarily pay off. But remember that investing is a long-term business, lasting at least several years, and you should always diversify your investments into at least 10 stocks. Thank you for watching the video.